Hello, everyone. Thank you for tuning in to our GYST podcast, where we help you get your together.
Without the window
Some contacts would be good at.
Okay. Awesome.
Just a second.
Okay. Okay. 10, 3, 17. Okay. What? 82. Okay. Ready? Everyone good? No? Ready? Okay. Moment of silence in 3, 2, 1. That didn't work. Hold on. Sorry. It fucking did nothing. You heard me press the button. It literally did nothing.
All he has to do is push a button.
You had one job. I was wondering who you were talking to. I keep forgetting what
Talk to the
video.
YouTubers.
I forget.
Sorry. Can you check just to make sure we're...
recording.
Oh, yeah. And... Okay.
Make sure you can't see me. 3, 2, 1.
Hello, everyone, and welcome again to another edition of your favorite podcast, the GYST Podcast, also known as Get Your Shit Together. Sorry, we didn't tell you ahead of time that you're supposed to
You didn't
cuss.
brief the man.
I covered everything except for the cuss word.
I know, I was thinking
You're
that.
so thorough.
Like, as you were doing it,
Yeah.
I was like, oh, fuck, we didn't tell him.
Yeah.
In case you're wondering, by the way, listeners, who him is, we have a guest. I keep wanting to say, I know your last name. I was going to say different Kevin's last name. They used to work there as well. I'm not going to say it because I don't want to put people on blast, but you know what I'm talking about?
Nope.
Okay, well, I'll tell you later. We have a guest today. Amit and Kamal are laughing in the background right now, like dickheads. Ladies and gentlemen, we are bringing you today Kevin Barquest of
American National Insurance.
American National Insurance. My man, thank you. You've got Kyle Reed as always.
Rohit Rohila?
And we're bringing you another fantastic episode. Rohit, what is today's episode all about?
Today's episode is about getting your together.
What specifically?
Covering your ets.
Your what?
Your ets.
It's a word, you can say it.
Oh, covering your assets.
There you go, there you go.
Yeah.
Rohit is a man who does not like to cuss. It's really awkward sometimes.
So, how this all came about, I've known Kevin Barquest now for years. And the other day we were having lunch and he was talking to me about insurance. And Kevin, honestly, I had no idea who my insurance is through, how much I'm paying, because it's rolled up into my mortgage. I don't know what's covered, what's not. I had no idea. And so from there we were like, well, let's just do an episode, because I think so many people are addressing insurance one of two things. One, I want the absolute minimum and never want to think about it. And two, ignorance is bliss. And it can be so overwhelming that they just don't really take that much time and effort to put into it. So thanks for coming on. Really appreciate everything that you're going to be talking about.
Hey, thanks for having me. But before we continue, did you get your shit together?
With what? No,
Your
I
insurance.
still don't know who my insurance is through.
You know what's... I'm gonna... You
Who, me?
don't know your agent. Yeah,
No.
you know an agent.
Who?
I'm not really sure.
I don't
That's kind of insulting.
The guy you told to come here.
You know, it's funny too. At lunch before you got there, we were just...
Oh, what about you? You did the exact same thing.
But I had totally forgot, and I took care of my stuff before you mentioned this episode. And then when you mentioned the episode, that's when I was like, oh shit, I didn't even think about Kevin. And I don't hardly talk to you that much, so.
True,
but,
true.
Not a shitty excuse, by the way.
Kamal remembered.
That's true.
But,
Oh,
Yeah.
yeah? All right. There we go.
Gummel, do you recommend him?
Oh yeah, definitely. That was great stuff in there.
I mean, the insurance-wise, yeah. There's a reason why I'm not in this episode.
He's like, oh yeah, it's great stuff in there. And the insurance packet? You were excited about that shit?
Oh yeah.
Or was he just easy to talk to?
It was pretty easy to talk to. It was really good.
Good shit.
Yeah.
Well, where do we start with this one? I mean, you know, I feel like it sounds like insurance is a fucking boring topic that nobody wants to talk about, nobody knows about. You don't even know your agent. When you asked me earlier, because we were just shooting the shit about it, I was like, I can't remember if I have Farmers or State Farm. I always get them confused.
Yeah.
Let me check. I just got it a few months ago. Right? Like, what the fuck?
Yeah.
I didn't even remember. So, it's stuff like that. I feel like insurance is something people get because they have to, not because they see the value.
Absolutely. And part of that is not really their fault. I mean, the state says, hey, you have to have it. And their agent, once they have it, they don't ever talk to them again.
Yeah.
I mean, literally, the agent doesn't call them. They don't communicate with them. They get their stuff in the mail or online, and that's it. I mean, there's no reason to communicate with them, really.
Sounds like a sales rep at some of our competitors.
Other podcasts?
Yeah, that. No, I mean, it makes sense, and that's why, like, I feel like with the online marketplace now, there's so many things you can do online that you don't require human interaction with anymore, and people are almost okay with that.
Yeah.
But when I was going through the process, I wanted to be able to talk to somebody. That was so awkward.
Why?
Just picture over my shoulder and things loud discharging, and you looked really creepy.
And audience, if you don't know what we're talking about, you should check out this video on YouTube.
All right. In my experience, though, I wanted to be able to talk to somebody and be like, you know, with homeowners insurance, you're kind of like, I want to just get that shit online. I got quotes online just so I knew where to go for pricing, so I knew exactly what was covered, how much it was going to cost. So when I went to talk to a couple of people, I knew where the ballpark was, right? But I did not at all intend to get homeowners online. Did you?
No. Because I got it, like I was telling you, it was just rolled up in my mortgage.
Who recommended it for you, though?
No, like, I don't know if the insurance agent had a partnership with my mortgage. It was just like, here's your mortgage payment, and the insurance rolls up under it.
Did you tell them anybody?
I don't even remember.
The money goes into what do you call that fund? It's not like a trust, but it's like
It's an escrow account.
Escrow.
But the thing about homeowners insurance is you have to sign a document for you to truly be covered should something happen. And unfortunately,
That's what I was thinking.
unfortunately, mortgage reps are
You should
not
see
allowed
this.
to be licensed insurance agents.
No.
Because they can't sell both to you.
Well, I know that when Dan McCain broke his arm wrestling in my backyard,
oh shit.
It
was a nasty break.
he was able to call my insurance and get some thing, so I guess it worked.
So you do have insurance, is what you're saying?
Yeah, I mean,
Well, his money's
Yeah.
going somewhere.
Yeah. It's going into an escrow account. It's being funneled offshore. Well, shit. So what are things that we should look for? Because so obviously it's working for you, right, in your scenario, but you probably have no clue what you're paying, what the average is.
not at all.
What are some things that our listeners can do to prevent that? Because I didn't know either. I went with somebody that I knew, that I trusted, and the price point was actually better than most of the online quotes that I got. It was a little bit more than one, but cheaper than a couple of the other ones. So I figured it was in the ballpark, and I trusted this person. I knew that I had someone to call. What do you recommend people do to avoid that from happening?
So, it's actually a pretty common practice, unfortunately, but find an agent that you can go talk to. Whether it's in person, over the phone, at least email, so you at least can put a face to a name and you can physically go in and
Yeah.
have a conversation with someone about it. There's a lot of different things that happen when you're getting homeowners insurance, and that could be buying a house, so you're dealing with closing and you just need to get it done because your lender's trying to get it done because they've got to do all of their stuff.
Yeah, they don't care about anything else.
Yeah, but then you as a homeowner, you've got to make sure that you're covered in a variety of different scenarios. Someone falls off a trampoline, someone breaks their arm, all those random things that can happen, because if you have a stranger come onto your property, they're all of a sudden your responsibility. So if they slipped on some ice and they decided that, oh, hey, I'm really injured and I'm going to sue you, you need to make sure that you've got the coverage to be covered should that type of scenario happen. Same type of thing for auto insurance. It's that liability. You could be the best driver in the world, but let's say you hit a patch of ice. I know a customer from past experience where they did hit a patch of ice. They were in a big SUV and hit a car that had 5 people in it.
Oh shit.
They had the state minimum. Well, the state minimum is not enough to take care of those 5 people who went to the hospital. So there's a lot of different things that come into play, and when you don't have the coverage that you need, there's a lot that's at risk. Your house, your car, your cash that you may have in the bank, stocks, bonds, retirement accounts.
So when we talk about covering your assets, so specifically assets, it could be anything.
It could be anything.
All the things you're mentioning, they're all assets.
It could even be your income and
Wow.
future income, because your wages could
Garnished wages.
potentially get garnished.
No bueno.
Yeah, no bueno at
It's a
all.
good thing that your lender decided, well, this motherfucker hasn't told me if he wants to go through for homeowner's insurance, so they just got someone for you.
Yeah, I need to have Kevin take a look at it. I don't know, because I think that brings up another point. Because I just thought of this right now. It wasn't part of what we did earlier, but like when it comes to car repairs, right? People don't know anything about it, so they're afraid to get their car repaired. And same thing with insurance. I don't know anything about insurance, so how do I know if I go to someone and they're like, oh yeah, here's what you need, and in the back of their mind they're like, okay, my BMW's taken care of, my next vacation's taken care of. Are there any resources available to where I can find out, like you said, make sure someone that you can visit in person or anything like that. What else can I do to know who I can and cannot trust?
You can check out the Washington State Insurance Commissioner's site and actually look to see if their license is active and if there are any active or prior complaints against them that were filed with the state. That's
With that particular individual provider.
with that individual.
Got it.
Not even the company, but the individual itself.
Okay.
Check out Better Business Bureau to see what type of experiences people are having with that company. Also check out their financial rating. So there's something called Fitch financial ratings and AM Best rating. If that's below an A, you really got to start to ask questions on how viable they're going to be should you need them.
So the bar is high.
It is.
I haven't gotten A's in a while.
Well, in your defense, you're also not in school.
This is true.
So that's probably a good thing.
Thank you.
And just to let everyone know, we'll make sure to get all these notes on our website.
Yes, you can check out these sites in these resources. This is stuff that I didn't know, obviously, right? I mean, I went into the process and I had questions, but I didn't know what questions I had. I didn't know if my questions were relevant. And like Roy had mentioned, you're scared. You don't want to look stupid or feel stupid. If you ask a question that you maybe think that people should know this, or whether or not the question's even relevant, right? So what are some questions you think people should ask, whether it's for homeowners insurance, car insurance, life insurance, anything of that nature?
There's a variety of different questions that anyone should want to know. And the first and most important, and it's going to sound silly, but why? Why are you recommending that I have this coverage at all? And why are you suggesting that I have the limits that you're offering here?
Nice.
And there's a lot of different reasons that people have for needing insurance. There's also a lot of different reasons that people could offer a certain type of insurance. If they can't or don't want to answer that, I would be worried.
Got it.
I mean, it's a pretty basic
You might
question.
want to call someone else.
Yeah, yeah,
Why?
absolutely.
Because if the only answer in their head is because I make more money,
Yeah.
and they don't know what to tell you,
Right.
maybe you shouldn't get it. Or you should talk to somebody else.
Exactly. And the thing is there are people that could do that. However, insurance is based off of what if.
Yeah.
So I could offer you the world of coverage, but if I can't illustrate how that's going to protect you, that should be a concern.
Yeah. That's good. So ask why. And like with homeowners insurance, I'm gonna keep going back to Rohit's thing because you had an incident here.
Should we toss that picture up and that video on our website?
Man, I'll let you make the call.
So, ladies and gentlemen,
don't even say it.
you go to our website for episode 82. You are going to see the video of the person I mentioned before, Dan McCain, breaking his arm at my house. So, just a warning.
Just get his permission.
It's graphic. If something like that were to happen, an accident, what type of aspect of the insurance does that go under? Personal liability?
Not necessarily. So there's a couple different types of coverages built into a home policy that would cover that.
Okay.
The first that's going to kick in is going to be the medical portion, and that's usually anywhere from $1,000 to $5,000 in payments. It doesn't count as a homeowner's claim, which is kind of nice, so your rate's not going to go up as a
Okay.
result. It's just kind of a freebie, if you will.
Got it.
Now, if it goes beyond that point, it does extend over into the liability, and that would cover any additional medical payments, hospital, doctor's trips.
Well, here in the great United States of America, we have a fantastic healthcare system. There should be no charges over $5,000, right?
Right, never. never at all. And then, in addition to that, if it's a stranger, there's a higher probability that they're going to want to sue you. And
Okay.
all of those types of costs are going to be covered by the liability as well.
Got it.
And any settlements as a result of that would be covered. Attorney fees, all that.
And what's a typical, and that'll have a separate maximum
Yeah,
payout, right? Is that per individual or per instance, or how does that work?
per occurrence, yeah.
Per occurrence?
Yep.
Okay. What's the number that we should be looking at?
Minimum number for a homeowner should be 500,000, and
Yeah.
even that's questionable.
Really?
Just because if you end up in court or even medical, I mean, you never know what you're going to end up paying out. I mean, simple surgeries can be a couple $100,000 anymore.
Yeah, and you're not paying, as an individual, if you have medical insurance, your insurance usually will cover, say, 80% of it, and you would pay 20%. That doesn't happen in a case like this.
Correct.
You are paying 100%.
Yes. Yep, absolutely. And the unfortunate part about homeowners insurance is there's agents out there that'll put you in 100,000 liability.
Oh,
That may or may not cover an incident.
wow.
Someone may or may not sue you and put a lien on your house.
If
I
someone
mean, a
gets-
lot of things can happen.
Someone gets drunk and drives through your garage door.
That's a little bit different because you don't have liability in that particular instance unless you did something outside of your house that caused that person to crash.
Oh, got it.
Kevin, something you and I talked about when we were having lunch that day is, how often should I talk to my agent to make sure that the plan I'm on right now is a good plan for me? Because, things could change.
Mhm.
Even Kyle talked earlier, if you add a trampoline, and that's what I wouldn't even think to call my agent about, be like, hey, got a trampoline now. And so what's a good time span to have an audit with my person?
So I personally reach out to all of my customers once a year. And it's up to them whether or not they want to have that review, but I want to make sure that I'm reaching out to say, hey, it's been a year, we should talk. It depends on the person, if they want to reach out to their agent on how quickly things are changing. But if you're making modifications to a house, if you're adding toys, if you will, whether that be a pool, a trampoline.
What about dog?
Yeah, a dog, for sure. Because not all dogs are covered by your insurance, and you may find out the hard way if it were to bite someone.
Wow, really? So breeds of dogs.
Oh, absolutely.
Holy shit.
Wow.
Breeds of dogs are a big thing. And there's some breeds that no one will write. Well, not no one. There's companies,
so
but
aggressive.
you're going to pay for it.
Like
Wow.
my dad's Shih Tzu.
Oh my goodness, he
Man,
probably pays off
Shih
the ass.
Tzus are the worst. They're just kidding.
Is there an annoyance clause in there?
She's
I think they'll stop barking.
She actually doesn't bark at all.
Oh, really?
Yeah,
Oh,
that's very rarely.
That's good.
They got a muter for it.
Only when I ignore her.
It'd be nice. Only when you ignore her. Like when Amit does Bowser. So that's something you should look at. You got Gandalf.
Yeah.
Amit got a new dog, ladies
Should
and
ask her if it
gents.
covers into that.
Yeah, how hard German Shepherds looking?
German Shepherd's usually okay with most companies.
Good.
But you do need to let them know,
Yeah.
for sure.
So let me guess, Rottweiler,
Rottweiler are okay with some, not with others.
Pitbull, same thing. No,
A
Staffordshire.
Pit bull is almost always something you cannot have in a home.
Wow.
Even if they're trained with the, like, accredited,
Correct.
even with that. Wow.
Yeah, even with that, some companies do make you jump through hoops to be able to have them covered, or you're going to pay a ton to have them.
Wow. Otherwise, it's just not covered, not part of the policy.
Correct.
You have a dog, in an incident with the dog, you're on your own.
Well, no, they will not issue a homeowner's policy at all.
At all?
Oh.
At all.
Oh, wow.
At all. Yeah.
Wow. That's fascinating. I didn't know that.
Yeah. It just depends on the company, though.
That's crazy.
Poor
So
Michael
definitely something to
Vick.
look into.
Absolutely.
He doesn't have any more dogs.
But before, he couldn't get insurance on his house either.
Oh, I don't
living
know.
like a
He probably made a lot of
$1
money.
million mansion.
I'm
yeah.
sure he had it. He just paid out the ass for it, and he didn't care. I have 37 dogs. Write me a policy. That's good stuff. That's things I would have never thought of, right? I mean, and I think that's part of the battle is you don't know what you don't know when you're going into this as a consumer. What should I look for? How should I address it? Another question is what Rohit's going to do, and once I have a policy, what are my options? Can I change that policy? Can I switch providers? When can I do that? What's the frequency? And what, if any, penalties would I incur?
So, in the state of Washington, there are no penalties to switch insurance whenever you want. You can change coverage whenever you want. So let's say that you chose to go get the minimum coverage and you heard this podcast and decided, oh, hey, I should maybe actually find out what that means.
Right, look at that.
You could go to your current agent even today,
Okay.
tonight, if they were to answer their phone and say, hey,
If they don't answer their phone,
I
get
need
a
to
fucking
understand
agent.
this. Right. My number is.
Yeah, exactly. It'll be on the website.
I mean, it makes a difference being able to listen to something like this and be able to go change stuff right away.
Yeah.
If you don't do it right away and, they'll learn about what you have and how you're covered, at least make a note so you do it in the future.
Yeah.
Because it's so important to make sure that you do have a quality coverage and you know what your portion of liability is going to be if something should happen, whether it's with your home or your auto, business, whatever it might be.
Good stuff. So you're really just not trying to get us to spend more money. You're like legit trying to protect us.
That's my number one priority. My number one priority is not to push policies. My number one priority personally is to make sure that I'm doing the right thing for my customers and helping them to see what their risk is should they choose not to listen.
Got it.
And, finances can be a factor sometimes. Sometimes making that bump to a higher coverage is impactful. But I always make notes for my customers to say, hey, let's talk 6 months from now,
Yeah.
see how your finances are doing, because this is where you should be and this is why. Do you agree?
Because the cost difference is a large pizza a month. Or something like that.
It could be.
I don't know.
It could be more.
Yeah,
It just
depending
depends
upon
on
what
where
you're
you are.
doing. Yeah.
And driving history, and there's a lot of variables that go into that.
Yeah, that's
so.
true. That's true. Rohit has a speckled driving pass.
Kevin, so a question for you. Now, there's so many different insurance agencies.
Yes.
How do I know which one to go to? Because they all can't be the same, can they?
Rohit, they're very similar to each other. That's the tricky part. Is they all represent companies that have the same basic mindset. This is your coverage. This is what you need to buy. You're good to go now. I'll call you never. But there
Sounds about right.
are becoming more and more agents where they reach out to their customers. They, do personal insurance reviews. They, have different types of events annually that they invite their customers to. I just did an event with a real estate agent, actually. It was mostly for his customers, but it's something that gave me an idea of things that I want to do in the future. It was a Seahawks game at a park.
Oh.
So we actually all got together, brought some food for his customers, and we watched the Seahawks game against Green Bay.
Nice.
It was awesome, but just really taking...
Like a mixer of sorts.
Exactly. And, taking the time to appreciate and value customers. That's extremely important to me. Part of my personal goal is to give a Disney-type experience, if you will, because I want my customers to feel good about what they have, and I want them to want to come and talk to me about the questions that they have. I don't want them to just not. Where a lot of agents out there, unfortunately, that, hey, I got your money, we're good to go. We'll talk to you, I don't know.
Yeah.
Huh.
It's about priorities, so.
Good stuff. I like it. Yeah, I mean, I honestly had a great experience as well. I mean, with mine, I was informed of a lot of things. I didn't feel like I was trying to be oversold. Even after the policy was done and closed, and I was in the home, wanted to make sure that we had a meeting to go over and know that I understood everything that was in my policy, everything that was covered, everything that wasn't covered. And the cost difference if I decided I want to cover certain things. Okay, let me know what you think. There was never, 2 days later, what do you think? What do you think? A week later, what do you think? What do you think? Yeah, I didn't get any of that. It was like, hey, you know how to reach me. I just want to make sure you're informed. These are your options. These are the cost scenarios. Here you go. So I luckily had a good experience. It was last minute, right before things were ready to roll, ready to close. So it was like, let's just run with it, baby. Let's go. Which I'm sure that's a lot of people's experience.
Oh, absolutely.
You call the first person you see. I was going to say in the phone book. I don't use phone books anymore.
So how early should someone look?
It's a very good question. For homeowners, you're saying.
For new
Yeah.
Yeah, so the question is, how early should a new homeowner look for?
Yeah, to help out your lender, I would say as soon as you are in contract and you know for sure the deal's going to go through. So
Okay.
things to look for there would be A, the seller accepted your offer,
Yeah.
and B, if you're going to have an inspection, wait till the inspection is done.
Got it. Oh, yeah, that's true. Makes sense.
Yeah, just to make sure that there's not so many things wrong that you don't want the home anymore.
Yeah. Because usually inspection you're going to have, in Seattle, pre-inspection or you're going to get in the house.
Right.
But in a less hot market, 3 to 10 days or something like that, right?
Usually, yeah.
You would think. So you'll get that inspection period done, and you'll have a decision made, and then you can work on your insurance.
Yep, exactly.
Good shit. Good stuff.
That way you're not wasting your own time.
Yeah. I dig it. Do you have anything else?
Yeah, there are just two things I want to say real quick. One, I think it's important to let people know, especially the people who are thinking ignorance is bliss. If I don't know what I'm doing and I know this is something I'm going to have to do, I'm just going to be like, whatever the minimum is or whatever you suggest, let's just go with it. This is your money. This is your future. The agent is working for you. You are in control, not them. So if it takes 1,000 different meetings before you feel comfortable enough to do it, take that time. Like, they're working for you.
Yeah.
And they, like Kevin said, he wants to do what's in the best interest of the individual policyholder. And if that's me, then I've got some questions. And if he really is going to take care of me, then I want to be able to have that relationship with him. And two, just so everyone knows, Kevin represents, not represents, but everything that he says is at least applicable in the state of Washington. So for those of you who are, other
Global
states or
listeners,
anything
yeah,
like that,
exactly.
there's resources that you will have for your particular state, province, country. So the recommendation is, check out one of their resources. So just want to say, the majority of our listeners are in Washington State, so I think you helped a ton of people.
Awesome.
Yep, Brohead.
Yeah.
That's for damn sure. And you actually already helped Kamal.
Yeah.
True.
Kamal just recently bought a house as well. Congratulations.
Yeah.
Congratulations.
Yep.
Well, I think we're at time, guys, so let's go ahead and get with the 2-minute takeaway. Today's episode was all about...
Did you notice that pause?
I know, I wasn't sure if you guys want to do it or not. Today's episode was an episode about insurance, a topic that everyone thinks boring. But we decided to call it Cover Your Assets. Because that's really what you're doing. You're covering your assets. Whether that asset is your car, whether it's your home, whether it's your children, whether it's your dog, whether it's your parents. You want to cover the things you love. Maybe you shouldn't love material possessions, but you worked your ass off to earn them, whether that's a home, or a car, or a swimming pool, or a trampoline. Doesn't matter what it is. It's yours. Protect it. At the very least, arm yourself with the knowledge to know how to protect it. And if you still want to opt for the minimum, at least you know. You ask the questions. The risk is now yours. But arm yourself with the information available. Ask your insurance agent. If you don't know who your insurance agent is, I will challenge you right now to go find out. Check your email. When was the last time you got an email? Log in online to your policy. Do you even know your user credentials? Do you even know what website to go to? If you're not sure and you own a home, like the man that hosts this podcast every week. Talk to your lender. If you don't know where you got your money from, you got a problem. But go and reach out. Car insurance, homeowners insurance, life insurance as well. Life insurance, I recently had a discussion with a good friend of mine about life insurance. And he asked me to be able to make a decision on behalf of his life in the event that a couple other people were no longer around. It wasn't a first resort. I think I was a third resort, something to that effect. I was deeply honored that he asked me that, but I also needed to be informed so I knew how he felt, so I could make this decision without my emotions in the way. And what he said was that life insurance is not for him, it's for his family. And that was extremely powerful. It's not, as a father, as a husband, it's not about you. That's not what you get life insurance for. You get it for your assets, the things that you love and you want to protect. So with that being said, GYST Podcast listeners, thanks for tuning in again this week. I had fun doing this episode. I know that people say insurance is boring, but I had a good time shooting the shit with y'all. Good to see Kevin. My man Kevin is a Lakers fan, so I love this guy.
Lakers?
Yeah. We're going to have the resources on the website and a lot of our other sources as well. So GYSTpodcast.com, Facebook.com/getyourshittogether. I'm just fucking with you. Instagram, Twitter, Rohit's favorite, Pinterest. I say it every time, but it really is his favorite.
It is.
Leave the feedback on iTunes and Stitcher. And last but not least, follow us on our YouTube page.
Oh, that's right.
And you can get all the awesome video. Now, we're going to put the URL on the website. We don't have a custom one yet. Why don't we have a custom URL yet, Rohit?
Because according to the Googles, you need at least 100 subscribers. before you can-
100 subscribers?
100 subscribers.
We got more than 100 listeners. Y'all need to subscribe to the YouTube channel.
Yeah.
We need a custom URL, and we need your help.
Yeah.
So, go out there, like it, share it, follow it, subscribe to it, and we'll see you again next week.
Bye. Thanks, Kevin.
That was awesome.
Yeah, that was
Yeah, it was
pretty
fun.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
it started out kind of slow, but by the end it turned out really
Because I think
good.
we didn't know where to go, of course. We're like, okay,
Yeah,
so
we're
how
like,
do we start
well,
this? It's like,
so
let's just
once
start
it really
asking
picked up,
questions.
Well, and I was trying to be careful too, because if we got onto a topic that ended up not being that interesting, it could have gone for.
Yeah.
I was trying to limit my answers too, because it could have just.
There's so much
you
information.
can even tell I was writing notes,
Oh,
all
wow.
this thing, and then bam.
Well,
Kamal was like, oh shit, oh shit, a dog, damn, oh.
and your ending on life insurance is actually perfect too, because that's exactly something that someone doesn't understand, but when they hear it from you,
It's crazy.
That was-
that's going to be way more valuable than if we actually had talked about it.
I legit had that real life conversation a month ago, and I had asked my friend, I said, hey man, I'm honored that you would ask me this, and I appreciate that. I said, but do me a favor and tell me what your wishes are. I need to know what you desire in that scenario. Because as hard as it will be, I'll need to take my emotions out of that equation to make a decision for you and your family, right? So that was a discussion that we had, and I
Where's the
didn't want
button?
to have that discussion at 35 years old about
Right.
life
To do what?
insurance and someone passed
was gonna
away.
pause
We
it.
had to make a
Oh,
decision
stop.
on that. But that's the reality.
Thanks everyone for tuning in to our GYST podcast. We hope you learned how to get your together.